and welcome to this edition of Pioneers in Pathology, the Techcyte webinar series. We are very happy to have you with us. I am Troy Bankhead, and I'm the VP of Marketing for Techcyte. And I'm joined today with Dr. Chen. She is a leader in digital and computational pathology. She holds a medical degree from the Mayo Clinic Alex School of Medicine and a master's in global medicine from USC. She completed her anatomic pathology residency at Brigham and Women's Hospital and an NIH-NCI postdoctoral fellowship in computational pathology at Harvard Medical School and Mass General in Brigham. Before joining Techcyte, Dr. Chen led digital pathology initiatives at a cancer pharmaceutical company driving advancements in AI-powered diagnostics. We're super happy to have you, Tiffany, with us today. Before we get into the main content, I wanted to very briefly tell you all that if you have questions during the webinar, we will have a Q&A session at the end, so feel free to ask them in the chat channel. Our team will be monitoring and will be able to feed us the questions at the end. So Techcyte around since 2013. We actually have three main verticals: veterinary, environmental, and then of course our human vertical. We are a scalable AI and workflow platform that unites the CP and the AP sides of the laboratory. And as a company, while we're specialized in AI, we have expanded to the full digital platform space, which is what we will be presenting to you today. We're currently actually past 155 team members, and our main offices are in Orem, Utah. And I'm actually living over in Luxembourg, where I also manage our European office. So without further ado, I would like to turn the mic over to Tiffany to talk about today's main topic, Techcyte Fusion. Dr. Chen.
Thanks so much for the introduction, Troy. Hi, everyone. Today, I'm really excited to introduce Techcyte Fusion, the first AI-powered digital pathology platform that will unify anatomic and clinical pathology. So over the last 5 to 10 years, we've been in this era of digital pathology 1.0, where there's been a massive push towards digitization of slides. However, many challenges still remain, including high startup costs for digitization on both the hardware and the software side, limited AI integration despite rapid advancements in AI technologies, and ongoing inefficiencies in pathology workflows, even with digital tools. So we've reached a point where investments have been made, digitization processes have been developed, but the value that comes from digitization has yet to be realized. We're now ushering in Digital Pathology 2.0, which now moves beyond simple viewers and image management systems. We've learned from the lessons of the past and from 1.0, and we believe that the future requires a truly integrated and intelligent platform that supports all aspects of anatomic and clinical pathology. So this means end-to-end integration for both efficiency and accuracy, AI-driven workflow automation to enhance diagnostics, data standardization so different vendors and systems like your LIS, your EHR, and your PACS can communicate seamlessly using FHIR and HL7 standards, as well as interoperability between these systems and the ability to support in-house, third-party, and custom AI models that are embedded directly into clinical workflow. We believe that optimized tools like standardized reporting templates, built-in communication, and real-time collaboration tools are a must. And all of these are vital in order to maximize the value proposition of digital pathology. So this brings us to Fusion, which is our answer to Digital Pathology 2.0. So Fusion is designed to connect stakeholders, address multiple pathology use cases, and streamline workflows through deep integration and AI-powered automation. So first, we'll explore Fusion's clinical pathology features first, and then we'll follow it by anatomic pathology. So in clinical pathology, we've encountered a wide range of departments, users, workflows, and systems, many of which have traditionally operated in silos. So Fusion eliminates these barriers by unifying everything together into a single integrated platform, allowing users to streamline workflows and ultimately provide more comprehensive care for patients. So on your left-hand side, you'll see all of our commercially available products, including parasitology, bacteriology, and hematology, which are being used in labs today. And on the right-hand side, you see our other products that are currently under development and will be launched shortly. So moving on to anatomic pathology. So we've seen anatomic pathology have very similar challenges as clinical pathology with many different departments or subspecialties, stakeholders, use cases, and systems. So Fusion is designed again to bring everything together and will support multiple key workflows like your general anatomic pathology workflow, cytology, frozen section, consults, tumor boards, and things like education, other types of conferences, and research. So to truly succeed, Fusion seamlessly integrates clinical data, AI tools, and workflow optimizations, transforming digital pathology into a more connected and intelligent ecosystem. So next I'll go over an overview of Fusion features. So the first one is the browser-based workspace. So this gives you the freedom to work anywhere. So one of the biggest challenges in digital pathology has been accessibility. With Fusion's browser-based workspace, users aren't tied to a specific workstation. Whether you're in the lab, the office, or are working remotely, Fusion will adapt to your setup, offering multi-window and multi-monitor support to fit how you work best. And for all of these, I'll go into deeper detail, and this is just a brief overview first of the main features for Fusion. So for Fusion, we also have an ultra-fast image viewer, which we believe is the standard for digital pathology platform software vendors these days. So speed and compatibility matter most when reviewing pathology images. And Fusion's ultra-fast viewer isn't just optimized for H&E slides, but will support all types of slides from IHC, special stains, and even electron microscopy, fluorescent, and gross images. And this ensures that you have a seamless experience across different modalities. And you're able to review all of your necessary data in one place without switching between multiple platforms. And pathology, we've realized, isn't a solo effort. It requires a lot of collaboration, both within your lab and amongst your peers. And Fusion will make teamwork effortless by integrating tools for education, research, and tumor boards with things such as an in-app comment section and messaging, as well as tagging and being able to send notifications to those who are tagged. So if you need an ancillary test or a secondary opinion or a consult, you can do that directly within Fusion, and this ensures that your workflow remains uninterrupted. We believe that reporting should also be as efficient as the whole diagnostic process itself. So with Fusion, we've implemented CAP synoptic templates, any kind of customized templates that your institution may have, custom macros, and with a bidirectional LIS integration, this will allow reports to be generated faster and with fewer errors. And we know that labs will use a mix of scanners and AI tools. That's why Fusion is designed to be fully compatible with major scanner file formats with DICOM as the preferred standard. And when it comes to AI, we offer seamless integration with both Techcyte developed and third-party AI models, making it easy to scale automation across your workflow. And then lastly, with storage, we know that digital pathology generates a massive amount of data. And Fusion ensures a long-term slide storage while also providing seamless document and attachment management at the scanner level as well. So important files like scanned documents or additional patient history are always accessible alongside with your case and case images. So let's move into the specific features themselves. So the next one would be looking at the work list, which is a fully customizable work list where you're able to tailor your views to your workflow, prioritize cases, and also streamline your day-to-day workflow. So let's take a look at the work list itself. So this is a screenshot of our work list. And as you can see, it's quite comprehensive. There are many, many columns that are present, as well as a left-hand side panel that will allow you to filter for these different cases. What's important to note is that these columns are all completely configurable based off of your workflow. So in this image here, you'll see that you are able to select which columns you would like visible and present depending on what workflow you are currently doing. So for example, if I am a pathologist signing out frozen section, I may want to know the OR number and the surgeon. But if I'm on a subspecialty service where I don't have trainees or PAs or techs that are involved in the case, I can unselect those columns. And then from there, I can save those views depending on the workflow that I'm part of. I can also subscribe to different working groups. So if I'm part of a subspecialty practice, I can save which subspecialty groups that I am part of. But if I'm in a general place, I can see all groups or all cases that are coming into my practice. And then this next view shows that you can create and save views. So for this example, I'm showing that I'm saving a GI consults view, and this will make it super easy and accessible next time I log in. I can see all the cases that are available for GI consults, and I can access them quickly. So next, this is the ability to prioritize your cases at a glance. So what we've incorporated in a scan tray within your work list. So rather than having to click through each case to take a look at your scans or slides to see how you want to prioritize your cases, you can do this directly from the work list. And this just makes it a lot easier for pathologists to manage their day without having to go through each of these cases to get a sense of what types of cases are coming. So we want this work list to also fit beyond just your day-to-day clinical workflow. And we believe that this work list can really work for your research and education workflows through our collection feature. So with our collection feature, we're able to organize our cases into private collections or even public or shared collections. And these shared collections can be things like tumor boards or education conferences, unknowns conferences. And private collections for me could be like my own research or interesting cases. And this is super easy to use. You're able to just drag and drop your cases directly into these collections and helping you efficiently index these diagnoses, rare findings, or even interesting cases. And we believe that this will really strengthen and facilitate education because now we allow for case-based learning. Residents and trainees can be able to create their own data sets and collections, as well as share them across with each other and with attendings as well. So next I want to cover our ultra-fast viewer. So our viewer is optimized for efficiency and will support, again, a wide range of pathology images. In this example here, I'm showing this is just an H&E image. You can see that the slide itself makes up the bulk of the viewer because we know that the pathologist really prioritized the image. You'll see a few components from our viewer. So on the right-hand side, you'll see what we call the navigation rail. And this is for quick access to things like annotation, AI results, and requests. On the top, you'll see our tab system, which will allow you to flip back and forth between the slide viewer, history, which will encompass all your patient's clinical history pulled in from the EHR, as well as any files or attachments that have been scanned in that come with this case. And what's interesting to note too is that all of these tabs up top can be pulled out into individual windows, so you can view them side by side in different windows if you don't want them all in one view. So next, we also want to show that co-registration is possible. So we have our vertical scan tray on the left-hand side, and you're able to select up to 6 different slides to view at once that you can then link or co-register. And we typically find pathologists will only do around 2 to 3, but we like to offer 6 just for any type of niche cases that are present. And this is really ideal for histology side-by-side comparisons between different stains or even between different levels. So next, we want to just cover the multi-monitor setup. So any of those tabs can be split out into separate windows, but you can also launch your cases into separate windows to help support multi-monitors. So you're able to pull out the slide viewer, clinical history, files, and reporting tabs, and then all these different windows will be context synced across your different windows and different monitors. And we believe that patient safety is the number one and most important thing when it comes to having multi-windows, and we want to ensure that you feel confident when you have multiple browsers and multiple windows open, that you're always looking at the right patient. And then with Fusion, Fusion will remember your window locations from session to session. So if you have a preferred setup of having EHR or clinical history on one side, your main viewer in the center, and then your reporting off in another window, this will be saved every time you log in. And we'll also have cross-device consistency. So if today you're working on your laptop at home and tomorrow you're on a desktop at work, we make sure that your settings will persist across the different machines. So the next feature we want to talk about is live collaboration. So Fusion offers real-time collaboration, and this will simulate a multi-headed microscope experience. So you're able to simultaneously view and navigate and annotate cases with each other in real time, and you're also able to assign a presenter and follow along. So if any of you are familiar with things like Google Docs, where you see the little icons on top and you can see people's cursors, this is very similar to that. So you can always know like who is viewing what, and you can take turns presenting as needed. And we think that this is really important for things like tumor boards and for educational meetings as well. And to say you don't want other people to follow where you are in a case, you can also turn this feature off. So you're not always public for others to join in on your session. This is something that you can set up for special circumstances like these meetings or these tumor boards. So with Fusion, this is something that is newer, I believe, to these types of systems where we're now simplifying requests for things like consults, slide reviews, or additional ancillary testing by integrating directly with the LIS. And again, this will depend on the level of integration between the LIS and with our software. But given a bidirectional LIS integration, we're able to have the user create these requests within our system with a much easier to use interface when it comes to ordering extra ancillary tests like IHC stains or molecular testing, or even sending second opinions or interdepartmental consults. So with these tasks and requests here, every time something is assigned to me, I will get a notification so I can best manage and organize these requests as they come in. And I can track and resolve these requests directly from my work list. And these request options, again, are truly adaptable and configurable for each institution. So if your institution doesn't do molecular testing, then we can easily adapt to only support what your institution will provide when it comes to ancillary testing. So for comments and notifications, I brought this up a little bit earlier where every time you are tagged or you are assigned a request, you'll get an in-app notification. The same thing can be said with comments. So we have a comment panel here. This is allowing users to communicate with each other. You can at each other. So when you tag each other, you'll get an in-app notification that you've been tagged. You can link slides, you can link cases. You can also link annotations. And this is a great way to maintain good communication across different providers and across different users within the lab. So when it comes to reporting, we believe that reporting should be seamless and time efficient. So for Fusion, we're offering structured reporting for gross, frozen section, and general case reports. And with automated LIS data integration, this will help you reduce manual entry. So we'll support CAP synoptic templates as well as any institution-specific templates or institution-specific macros. If you prefer to use dictation tools, we can also integrate with dictation tools like Fluency Direct, Nuance, or Dolby. And this will just make it a lot easier for you to do your reporting directly within our software. So this is an example here of a CAP synoptic report. The great thing about having the synoptic report that's fillable, that's directly within our software, is that we're able to add in annotations directly. So for example, if I'm trying to measure depth of invasion, directly within that field, I can either select an annotation I've already made, or I can drop a new annotation, and this will enter it in, which will reduce any type of manual errors that come with just typing back and forth and transferring data back and forth across different panels. So next, I want to go over a specialized workflow in anatomic pathology, and that's the frozen section workflow. So Fusion will capture frozen section through our frozen section suite. We know that this is a specialized type of reporting where frozen section pathologists give preliminary results and margin assessments. So our reporting structure here is going to be different than what you saw previously with the kept synoptic reporting. And again, this will be flexible and adaptable depending on how your institution or your lab handles frozen sections. What we believe is very important, though, is the communication between the frozen section lab and the OR. So Fusion will provide a dedicated real-time OR view for the surgeons, and these will allow surgeons to see pathology results immediately and provide fast intraoperative decision-making. And as you can see here, the surgeon view, you will get both the specimen information as well as the preliminary results directly from the pathologist. You'll also see a notification. You'll get both a visual and audio notification, as well as documentation, excuse me, of when these results are pushed in. The OR staff and the surgeon can also communicate directly with the pathologist in the lab by leaving comments. So again, they can tag anyone in the lab and say, for example, in this example here, I'm portraying a surgeon. I can say I'm sending 3 more margins, and the lab, as they're receiving it, can see the comment and prepare themselves for the next margins to come. So we believe that this feature will strengthen the relationship between the OR and the pathology lab by ensuring that there's transparent, well-documented communication and overall better workflow efficiency. So we believe that the future of pathology has to be AI-driven, which is why we're launching an AI marketplace that allows seamless integration of third-party AI solutions. So at launch, we're partnering with Iforia and AOSIN, but with there are additional integrations to come soon. So to ensure that AI adoption is seamless, our open AI environment will support a single API for third-party and homebrew AI integrations, as well as provide dedicated support for third-party AI vendors and any custom institutional AI models that you may develop. So for us, we believe that Fusion will remove these adoption barriers by really integrating a slide viewer with the LIS and the EHR, reporting, scanners, and AI now into one ecosystem, and we're able to truly deploy AI to gather these new insights that come with AI. So lastly, I just want to touch a little briefly about scanner compatibility. So Techcyte, again, is a software-only company, and we believe that success truly depends on strong partnerships with leading hardware manufacturers. So our platform is compatible with all major scanners, including like the list that you see below, including like Leica, Pramana, Grandium, just to name a few. So this will ensure that your lab has the flexibility in your digital transformation journey, and we will support whatever decisions you make along the way. So Fusion is redefining Pathology 2.0. We're bringing together AI, digitization, and automation, and collaboration into one platform. One of the biggest hurdles in digital pathology adoption has just been justifying the cost while ensuring tangible efficiency improvements. So Fusion was designed with this in mind, and will help labs not only transition to digital, but optimize their entire workflow for measurable ROI. And we're not just about making workflows faster, it's about unlocking new predictive and diagnostic capabilities with AI. So as these AI models continue to evolve and grow, pathologists can now really leverage the machine learning to identify patterns, improve diagnostic accuracy, and support better clinical decision-making. And this will bring added value beyond traditional workflows. And we're doing that by truly embedding this AI directly within our system. So in today's healthcare environment, pathology labs really need to do more with less. We know that you're facing increased caseloads, staffing shortages, and even tighter budgets. So Fusion will provide this integrated, future-proof solution that will allow labs to stay ahead of the curve and ensure long-term sustainability while improving patient care. So just to add, if any of this sounds interesting, we're officially launching Fusion this month at USCAP. So if you're going to the conference at USCAP, please swing by our booth, and also feel free to schedule a demo with us. You can do so by clicking direct or taking a photo directly of the QR code, but come by our booth and then we can give you a live demo, have you play around in the system, and also give you a free pair of histology socks. And with that being said, I'm going to just hand this back to Troy for any questions. Thank you.
Tiffany, thank you so much for that. That was not only informative, but spot on. We're thankful for your intervention today. Let's move on to the Q&A session. In your interfaces, you will notice a private chat that you can send us questions that you might have, and we will be able to answer as many of them as we have time for. We have a first from Sunil, who asked, is Techcyte working on getting Fusion approved by the FDA?
Thanks, Sunil, for the question. Yes, we're definitely moving towards FDA, and we will be working towards that this year. Thank you.
Thanks. Jameson asked, I've known Techcyte in the market for cytology and microbiology. Does this mean Techcyte now does all applications, including histology?
That's correct. So with Fusion, you may have been familiar with these individual applications like our SureView cytology product and our microbiology product, but now we're bringing that under this umbrella product called Fusion. And with that, we will be supporting other applications, including histology and the other parts of anatomic pathology, like frozen section.
Thanks. Robert asked, what makes Fusion unique compared to other anatomic pathology viewers on the market?
Yeah, so what we believe is truly unique about Fusion is that it is not just a viewer. So while we have an ultra-fast viewer for you to view your cases and your slides, we believe it's the workflow component that makes us stand out. So by being able to prioritize your work list, have these custom filters and saved views, you can access the cases you need and that you need to evaluate that day much easier. And then you can track and follow along your cases as they get requests that you send off, like secondary consults or slide orders. And then lastly would be, we're bringing in all the patient information into one system. So with our connections with the EHR, we're pulling in clinical history as well into our clinical history tab. This will give you a comprehensive view of your patient's case as you are executing the case. So before, you'd have to have multiple systems, multiple windows, your LIS, your EHR open. We're designing Fusion, or we've designed Fusion so that you can stay within our system without having to jump across systems to get the information that you need.
Thanks. I can actually address this question from Mark, who says, do I need to download an app to use Fusion? And that's a good question, because that's another one of the unique things about our platform, in that it is entirely web-based, and any Chrome or Edge browser will get you access to our site, our service. And that not only opens up the possibilities of location, but also you don't need complicated VPN structures in order to access us. At the same time, we're SOC 2 compliant. The company itself is ISO controlled, and we take security very seriously. And so while it's web-based, it does not require any special equipment or hardware to access our system. Susan asked, how does Fusion integrate with existing LIS and EHR systems? Is it vendor agnostic?
Yes, that's a great question. So Fusion will integrate with your chosen LIS and EHR. So we've worked with a few systems so far, but again, it really just depends on what your lab is using. But the plan is to be able to fully support these integrations across your LIS and EHR, regardless of what system you're on.
Thanks. Stephen asked, what scalability options are available for labs of different sizes, like small clinics to large hospital networks?
Yes, so Fusion is fully configurable, so it doesn't matter what size lab you have. You can be a 1 to 2 pathologist size practice, or you can be 50 to 100 pathologist size practice, and we can scale to that. And to do so, we can configure things like within the work list, the different working groups. If you're a 1 to 2 pathologist working group, you can have whatever fits your practice. So you only do dermatopathology, this can only show dermatopathology slides. And the same thing can be said for the case view as well. You can turn on and off whatever fits for the size of your practice. So I would say Fusion is able to scale across the different sizes of labs that may be present.
Thanks. We've got a specific question, but Tiffany, I think you should be able to address it. Bilal asked, we already have an IMS for histology, but we want to go digital with other applications outside of histo though as well. which our current IMS doesn't offer. How could Fusion work with an existing IMS that we've already embedded?
Sorry, I just reading this question. So if you already have an IMS for histology, I guess I would like to know what other applications. Are you referring to other CP applications like within microbiology or cytology? Um, I guess that all depends on what other applications you're looking for, or if you're looking for specific algorithms to implement into your IMS. I would say for Fusion, we plan to be as integratable. I don't know if that's a word, but to be as easy to integrate with systems as possible. But again, it would really depend on what types of applications you're looking for.
Thanks. Grant asked, do you currently have AI algorithms for analyzing frozen sections, for example, breast, lung, etc.?
Yeah, currently we don't have AI specific for frozen sections, but that is something we are working on. For our frozen section application right now, we're trying to target more workflow for frozen sections, so like ensuring smooth and transparent communication. But definitely AI algorithms for a frozen section is on our minds as well.
Thanks. Leona asks, which solutions does Fusion apply to, both AP and CP or only AP?
Yes, great question. So Fusion will apply to both AP and CP. So if you're familiar with Techcyte, you've been probably familiar with our CP products. And we're just wrapping that up into this umbrella product called Fusion. But they will still exist the same that you've known our products to be. So we're just now adding in anatomic pathology.
And so Ryan asks, does Fusion support cloud-based deployment, on-premise installation, or hybrid mode?
Yes, great question. For us, Fusion is cloud-based. We believe that this will really free up pathologists day to day. We've seen the issues with on-prem, and because of that, we are cloud-based.
Thanks. Amanda asks, what's the expected ROI for pathology labs investing in Fusion?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I feel like that's the question that everyone wants to know about ROI. For us, we believe that Fusion will make your labs work faster, and also will just give your pathologists and your lab users more confidence when making their diagnoses. Again, very hard to measure that specifically, but we've seen that with these diagnostic accuracy gains and efficiency gains, labs have been able to better manage the increased caseloads and even bring on increased volume and bring back tests that they may have sent out previously.
Indeed. Thanks. Mark asked, are there built-in tools for remote consultations or second opinions?
Yes, there are. So we have a request system, which I wasn't able to get into full detail today, but within the request system, you can select the request that you want. So for this example, I want a second opinion. You can select a user. Say I want to send a second opinion to Troy, and then I will select what scan or the entire case to send to Troy. Troy will get an in-app notification that he has a request made of him. So he is being consulted. So then Troy can go in and resolve and answer your secondary request, or sorry, your interdepartmental consult request. And then this resolution will go back to me and I will see it in my system. So those tools are built in and fully usable today.
And you can even combine those with live commenting
Yes.
back and forth if you want.
Yes.
Lisa asks, does Fusion offer customizable AI models, or is it a standardized approach for all users?
Yeah, we've actually realized that AI isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. So it's definitely going to be adaptable and customizable for your institution.
And we've got another question. Megan asks, what kind of support does your team provide to help users transition?
Yeah, so we'll have the full-on support to ensure that your transition is seamless. So we have our implementation team there to help you along the way, and I would say it will be very similar to implementing any other types of software, but at Techcyte, we truly believe that training and support is key. So we will be there to help you throughout the entire process. Even if you're at the start of your journey with trying to figure out how to or which scanners to implement, we can help you from all parts of your journey. Yeah.
We've actually got two questions here that are similar. Well, I'll just combine them. Lizzie asks, what is the payment model? Is it per slide or subscription based?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think this hard to answer that right now without really knowing your specific site's needs and capabilities that will that you're interested in. So that is something that we would love to have a deeper conversation with you to discuss how Techcyte Fusion could fit with your lab needs. And then from there, we can discuss pricing as well. But thanks so much for the question.
Wonderful. We've got a few more questions, but we're past our time, and we do like to keep these short. Maybe we could have just one last question. We've got one coming through from Grant, who asks, if synoptic reporting is through the Fusion viewer, does the final report make it back to the LIS? Does it require bidirectional interface?
Yes. So to make it back into the LIS, it needs a bidirectional interface. So again, this really depends on a few factors, like what LIS system you're using. But for Techcyte, we're 100% committed to building a bidirectional interface if it is possible with the LIS. So if that bidirectional interface is there, if you complete the synoptic reporting through our Fusion viewer, this synoptic report can then be pushed directly into the LIS.
Wonderful. Well, that's our time. We'd like to thank all of you for the time that you spent with us today, and for listening to both of us tell you about the new Fusion platform from Techcyte. Again, we would encourage all of you to reach out to us if you're interested in a demo or have other questions at sales@techcyte.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.